Are you in the room with us? Could you make a noise or speak?
Whoa.
What the heck was that?
You got that, right?
That was... Are you in the room with us? Could you make a noise or speak?
Whoa.
That was a weird one. I've never heard that, and I use this quite a bit. So the lady that's here told me the kids or entity speak to us.
Get out of the house?
My name is Jamie Heber. I am the Interim Executive Director at Heritage Museum of Orange County. Heritage Museum of Orange County is a cultural and natural history center focused on preserving, promoting, and restoring Orange County history. We have several buildings here at the museum. We have 2 Victorian homes, one of which is the Mogg Farmhouse. That has the original carriage barn, which is now used as offices, and the original water tower, which is now our gift shop. We also are home to the Orange County Blacksmith Guild. We have a fully functioning coal forge blacksmith shop on the grounds. But the centerpiece of the museum is the historic Kellogg House. The Kellogg House was built in 1898, and we opened the house as a museum to the public in 1985. We have felt paranormal activity at the museum. The Kellogg House is the most active. We've had several strange instances with a multitude of staff members. Anything from seeing a shadow figure to strange technology happenings, as well as students on field trips seeing other children that aren't here. We do get reports from the janitorial staff next door at the elementary school late at night of a woman in the windows. We've had a little girl show up in wedding photos taken in front of the house upstairs in one of the windows. I personally have had several encounters with what I'm guessing is paranormal. One situation was I was opening the house for public hours one day, and the attic is wide open. You can see it from the bottom floor. And I was on the second floor, and we kept hearing a rustling, not necessarily footsteps, but some kind of loud clanking up in the attic, and we couldn't see anything. So I went up the stairs. Every time I went upstairs, it stopped. This repeated about 5 different times. And at one point, we had to leave the house to go open the gate to open to the public. So prior to doing that, I had propped my cell phone up to point directly to the attic. So if there was anything up there, like a bird that had gotten in, we could spot it. And so it was on record facing the attic. We left the house for about 5 minutes, came back in. My phone had been flipped over, power off, no recording. That was the first really bizarre thing that happened. Second situation, I was leading a school group on a field trip. We were upstairs in the schoolroom, and from the schoolroom you can see up in the attic as well. And a little boy was sitting in the front and said, "I thought you said nobody was allowed in the attic." We said, "That's correct." And he said, "Then why is she there?" And he pointed up to the attic. There was nobody up there. This kind of went back and forth for a minute before I moved to the next room, but the little boy was in tears almost because I didn't believe him. And I'm not saying I don't believe him, I just didn't see it. We have had 2 paranormal investigation groups come out in my time here at the museum. One was about 4 or 5 years ago, the other was about 3 years ago. They had very different approaches, but they also seem to have encounters consistent with our stories here at the museum. One of which used a voice box upstairs in the children's room, and it continuously would say Sybil. And at one point it mentioned frying pan, which really knocked our socks off. That was pretty spooky. Yeah, that was probably one of the more intense moments. The frying pan story involves Sybil and Mrs. Kellogg. They did not get along. This was no secret. According to what we've been told by Sybil's descendants, is they had had an altercation, and at some point during that argument, Mrs. Kellogg had taken a cast iron frying pan to Sybil's knees. She hit her in the knees, and she fell down the stairs in the home. Years later, Sybil had some complications due to the lack of treatment for the injury. She had been placed in a wheelchair for quite some time after the incident. She had to have her leg amputated from the knee down. Sybil's time living in the house with Helen was pretty dark. She was not happy. The 2 sons from Hiram and Helen had their own bedroom. The 2 daughters had their own bedroom, but Sybil had one smaller, darker bedroom just to herself. Being in a wheelchair for that time following the incident, it really limited her mobility, especially with our spiral staircase. She was very limited to just the upstairs, and the doorways are very narrow, so she had limited access even up there with her wheelchair. If there are spirits, if there is a spirit, I would bet money that it is Mrs. Helen Kellogg. She is the only person we know of that died in this house, and she loved this home. We feel that she's protective of it. So every day when we walk in, we say good morning to her. Most of the time we remember to say good night to her as well. The majority of the activity in the house is in the morning, so we like to greet her and share her history, the good and the bad.
My name is Jennifer A. Posadas. My job currently at the museum is the head of weddings. I'm a coordinator here. I have had a few paranormal encounters at our museum here, yes. So the first encounter took place, I was about maybe a year into working here at the museum, so it was my first year. And we came in to unlock the house and get it ready for public hours. My partner came in and she unlocked the house, was currently unalarming it. I was coming over to the Victrola in order to open it and get everything ready. And then as I'm looking up in the back parlor, I saw a shadow man, I guess is the best way to describe it. He was still kind of see-through. He seemed kind of tall. The thing that mostly was distinguished about him is that he had like a bowler hat on his head, it seemed like. He was very dismissive. He never looked at me, and he went from one side of the room to the other and then just kind of disappeared. I've seen a lot of horror movies. I've had a lot of other paranormal experiences. So I just very quickly left the house, and I left my partner in the house. Everyone kind of at the museum has their own idea of maybe who he is or why he's here. So one of my other encounters was I was coming in, this was after a wedding shift, so we were closing up for a wedding. Everyone was kind of gone for the night, and I was coming in to lock up and turn off all the lights. So I went upstairs to go do a sweep to make sure that none of the bridal party had left anything behind. And as I was going upstairs, I closed the doors behind me to kind of show which rooms I've checked. And as I was checking the final room, there was a shadow that just kind of whooshed along the wall. It moved very quickly, and it was very startling, and it kind of landed me when I watched it onto Mr. Kellogg's portrait. I was alone, and I tried to figure out why any of that could happen. All of the doors were closed, so it couldn't have really been like any car headlights or anything like that. Plus I was on the second floor. So I immediately thought something weird was going on and walked out of the house and waited for my other staff member that was working with me that night to finish closing up the house. I just went and sat down in front of the fountain and refused to go back in. I believe in a lot of supernatural things. I still try to find a scientific explanation for any encounters that might happen, but once you kind of rule all of those out, I feel like the only option is to kind of believe that there's more out there.
Through the investigation, I think my number one goal with doing this is to verify if there is actually someone here with us, and specifically if it is a Kellogg family member or Mrs. Kellogg. As a historian, that would be the ultimate connection to the past. Or also, if there are spirits here, is it someone trying to reach out to us? Do they know that we're here? Or is the house just replaying memories and we're just seeing that? I think it would be really neat to know if there is a Kellogg family member here trying to connect with us, and it'd be nice to know if they're happy with what we've done with their house. We'd like to work with them.
We're here at the Kellogg House, place that I was at in 2016 with Valley Investigators of the Paranormal. Had some crazy things happen there. Right now we're in the rear parlor, also known as the billiards room, and as you can see, this has been happening all during setup. I'm getting the goosebumps and hair standing up. When this house had social gatherings, this area also was closed off and it was used to entertain small children. Now, speaking of small children, I'm in front of this photograph which has Miss Kellogg, and flanked on her right are her two young sons, and on the left there's some mystery about who the girl is. They think it might be her daughter. Now, the museum staff, they were in here one night just doing a few paranormal tests, playing around with some gadgets and apps and all that, and they were getting a lot of EMF, electromagnetic field hits, off of this picture. And they state that no matter where they move it, they're always getting these hits off of this photo. So I'm going to check it with the ghost meter. EMF is electromagnetic fields. It's said that ghosts are energy. When these devices, such as an EMF meter, go off, the speculation, if you will, is that there is an entity near the device. And now I'm going to put it up to the photo and see if we could duplicate what the museum staff has said they've experienced. And it's right on the little girl. Wow. On this side, it's not getting anything. I put it on the little girl right there, and it's going off. That is pretty crazy. nod off, little girl on. So I'm joined here tonight by Fidel DeHaro. He's the founder of Paranormal Connections. Glad to have him on board, and one of the things we're going to do tonight, in this room, he brought a REM pod.
So we were right here at the Heritage Museum. I have a device right here we call REM pod. The difference with the REM pod and the EMF detector is this mainly picks up static electricity. Now, static electricity is kind of like when you rub your hands, you rub your hair, you shuffle your feet on the carpet, and when you touch somebody, it kind of like zaps them. So it kind of works the same. So if I place my hand close to the REM pod by the antenna, as you can see, it's picking up the static electricity that's coming off my body or my hand. Now, if I'm nowhere near it and there's nothing else to explain it, the theory is if a spirit passes by the REM pod, it will pick up the static electricity and it will set it off. You will see different colored lights that turn on. You will hear, well, it has different tones, but you can hear, the more that I touch it, the more energy that's placed on it, the louder that it gets and the brighter the lights will display. Part of the staff witnessed a shadow person from this end of the hall pass in this direction, about a 6 foot tall shadow person, into the kitchen. So I have placed the REM pod, so if it were to pass by again, the REM pod would be able to detect it and give us some feedback that there's something passing by. Now, a shadow person, let me explain what a shadow person is. It's a being that looks like a shadow. Sometimes it's 2D, two-dimensional. Some people have seen it three-dimensional. There's different kinds of shadow people. You have the Hat Man. That's where they got the movie with the, the guy with the 4 knives. So people have seen this Hat Man in the night. You have these ones that hang off the ceilings. You have little creature ones. The theory is they were never born or created. They've always been here. A lot of people have said that they've woken up in the night and seen these beings in their room and have been pinned down, which they call sleep paralysis. So these shadow people, when they're around, it's very, very dense negative energy. So the thing is, to have a shadow person in here is not a good idea. So we gotta see, why is a shadow person in this place? But you know what, Eric? I guess we didn't get any hits on the REM pod in this room. I expect to see a shadow person. Maybe we'll see the shadow person later. But you know what, for now, what do you say? Let's go upstairs to the kids' room?
Alright, sounds good.
Let's check it out, man. Right. Let's go. Let me take this. Well, actually, I'm going to leave this here. So if we get a hit, we can hear it. Maybe we can run downstairs.
Yes, I'll send you downstairs.
The most haunted room in the house, I would say it is the children's room or the school room. Probably the children's room.
I would definitely say the children's room. There's just a bit of unease that's kind of always in there day or night. I would say that that's the only room that I consistently kind of feel unease in.
The children's room has had, I'd say, the most apparitions seen from the windows in that room of a woman in white. If I were to say who the woman in white is, that would almost guaranteed be Mrs. Helen Kellogg. Also, that's the room that we had the experience with the voice box saying Sybil and frying pan. We also have a lot of artifacts that are original to the Kellogg family in that room. They're in a glass case, but there is a pair of eyeglasses that belong to the daughter Helen. There are toys made, specifically dolls made with actual human hair in there, and some really unique artifacts that we seem to have some activity with.
All right, so we made it up to the children's room. Gonna do an investigation. It's starting to get dark outside. Let's see if we get any hits. So the boys, those two boys that used to sleep in this room, we have a lot of dolls right here. Some say there's some activity, some EMF hits, spikes. So what we're doing a spirit box session where we can communicate with the spirits. So I have this app where it has a bunch of vocabulary, maybe like 4,000 words. The spirits can manipulate it and speak to us. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, you ready, Eric? So here I go. I'm gonna start. Anybody here with us in this room?
Larson.
Who's in this room with us? Talk. Okay, are you trying to say talk because I have a spirit box, you're able to speak with us? So just take turns and one of you guys say your name, spirits. Kevin, is there? I thought I heard Kevin.
Kevin was the old museum director.
I did say Kevin. I mean, we could do a play-by-play. It said Kevin a few times.
Yeah, that was the old museum director.
Wow, maybe we got used to Kevin.
Does anyone know if the spirits liked Kevin or not? He wasn't a believer, was he?
Okay.
He's alive, yes.
I need a straight yes
He just recently left.
or no. So spirits, I'm asking you, did you like Kevin? Yes. Did you dislike Kevin? Say no.
Kevin is no longer here.
Did you like him? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wait, it said yes and it said bad or back or I don't know. But it did say yes.
Yes, back. We want him back. Maybe?
Oh, probably does want him back and he probably miss him.
Yeah, ask him if they.
Do you guys miss Kevin? Is there something you want to say to Kevin?
It's
To
getting
relay
cold
your
in here.
message?
Do you feel that draft?
Yeah, there's a draft in here. Good,
draft
from the top. So, is there a message you want to say about Kevin?
I'm mad.
Mad?
Are you mad because he left you? Did he make like a promise or something?
That sounded like a child, kind of.
Yeah.
Let's try to speak to the child. That sounded like a little boy.
There is definitely a draft in here. Are
I'm
any of
getting the
windows
chills
open?
in here.
You think that was a little boy's voice?
Are you I'm getting the chills.
There's a draft. They don't have the air on, do they?
Little boy, are you a little boy? Could you say your name for us, please?
Focus.
Zach?
I don't know. Why did you say Zach? Well, I mean,
Jack?
it had an act to it.
See if we
All
can
right,
get a
come
little-
on.
little
Give me your
boy.
name.
Whoa! Get you, Eric.
Yeah, I think it said
It did.
It said get you,
It
Eric.
did.
It went get you, Eric. Dude, look
Man,
at
these
this.
things follow you around
at
all the
this.
time. Whoa. Could you mention anybody's name here? Anything you want to tell us? Like, now's your time to tell us.
Said something about the war? Early war?
All right, how old are you? What's your age?
Don't
Five?
leave.
Is it
Five.
five?
Is it five?
It said, did it
It
help?
said help and it said 5.
Was it help?
Help and
I
then
thought it said
5.
don't leave or
I heard 5. I don't know how old. All right.
Can you repeat your age again, please? Make it a little bit clearer. Help.
It keeps saying help. All right, now, I'm getting the chills. Sometimes when there's children in the house, there could be maybe a shadow person or something strong that's tormenting the children in the house. Or
It's not letting them talk.
It's not letting them talk. It's being mean to them. It's scaring them. It's being real evil to them. So it's a chance for I asked the spirits to speak, so they're calling for help. I guess they're let's ask. So we understand you want help. Help from what or from who? Could you explain that?
Miss.
This one.
This one is evil.
It said this one's evil?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, could you give us?
Are you talking about Miss Kellogg?
From us.
From us?
Is Miss Kellogg or somebody here or anybody tormenting you or harassing you or let us know. Give us a name.
Mom? She's a mom?
Something mom.
Mom.
I heard whisper mom and then
Mom is tormenting us. So maybe it was when a girl said mom is tormenting us?
So they're probably reliving their physical life when they were alive. What do you think? Probably reliving it in the spiritual world. Is she here right now? And if she is, where is she at in the room? No. No. Floor. No. I heard floor. Move. I heard floor. So we're gonna use this. So if it is on the floor, could you guys place that?
Just hit the button.
Yeah, it's on already. You can just place her there. Now, I want to address the spirit, maybe Miss Kellogg or whoever's that entity these kids are talking about. I want to know what you have to say. I want to speak to you. Is there something you want to say?
Harsh?
Harsh, yeah.
She was known to be very harsh.
To the right.
I heard to the right or the light. So I heard harsh. Are you in the room with us? Could you make a noise or speak?
Whoa.
What the heck was that?
You got that, right?
That was so weird one. I've never heard that, and I use this quite a bit. Alright, so the lady that's here tormenting the kids or entity, speak to us.
Get out of the house?
When it comes to children, I know that helping them, they can, when I look at these blogs, they have like little goats, they have apples, they have violins, and they like to name each and every one just for like educational purposes to learn. And so I have the word out cows, my name's Jolie, and yes or no. It seems quite kind of simple, but each and every one has a good question. So I know that little kids, they're not always great with communicating, probably just with simple words of yes and no. Making them feel comfortable or making a child comfortable, you help them and you go, oh, what's this one? And they go apple. And you go, oh, how about this one? And then if they misplace it saying not goat, it's like, it's goat, oat. And so it's trying simply just talking to them, talking about, what their favorite thing to play is or what they're trying. They probably won't give you like a straight answer, obviously, but if you just call them like a simple thing, it's like, oh, what do you like to play? What do you want to do? And you just try and keep them comfortable.
So, children that are here with us, as you just saw, what was explained, you guys have the apple and the violin and the frog, and you have the word yes, no, and cows and Jolie. So, what's your favorite word there or picture? Could you tell us?
And. No.
It said your name. I swear I heard your name.
Alright, let's. Children, point at a block and explain what that block is. It sounds like everybody's talking, like all these kids are like, you hear multiple voices, one at a time. Children, point at a block, take turns, tell us which blocks. Sorry. Oh, I said it was sorry. It's okay. Don't feel bad. Let's try it again. Sound like a little.
See, it's saying your name.
R.
It's saying your name.
Pick a block, children, and tell us what it is.
It keeps saying your name.
Could you repeat that again?
Wait.
All right. Could you repeat which block you selected?
One.
Yeah, one. Pick only one. Any one. Oh, you could get a word if you want, but just one. Okay, ready?
Up.
Darkness. Play.
Hi.
He said hi. They're trying to talk more to us than select the block. Well, hello. Please, I got the chills. Please select the block. He doesn't see it. Can you guys repeat that?
I think it said Frank or Franklin.
That's one of the children.
Franklin?
Wow. Franklin?
Oh, wow.
Jolie, why don't you try to talk to Franklin? Which one was he? The meat in the middle?
His name was Leonard Franklin.
I thought I heard someone say Leonard earlier.
Yeah, he would have been the third born.
Or let me see if I could ask his age. So, Leonard Franklin, could you tell us how old you are?
Beep.
3? It's Iffy Down. That's my name. Okay. I didn't say my name, but I want to know your age. Yeah, my name's Fidel. Don't ask me my age. All right. Can you tell me your age?
Can you tell us your name, please, again? Can you try to speak it clearly?
Valak.
So we did some spirit box sessions with Fidel's tablet, and we got some pretty compelling, intelligent responses. And then Jolie did a session herself, and it seemed to like communicating with her.
Mrs. Kellogg died in the house in 1963 at the age of 93, presumably just old age. In her older years, she resided mostly downstairs, and we presume that was the office that is just off of our dining room because it's the only private room in the house that she could close the door to and create a bedroom out of. So we're certain that that's the room she passed in.
I think Mrs. Kellogg is tied to this house. One, because she did pass away in the house. All of the kids had moved out and decided not to stay in the house, and Mr. Kellogg had passed away, so she was kind of last man standing here. So it's like, it's her house, you know? Why would she leave something that's hers? It was a gift from her husband, and she lived here and died here. So why would she leave? And I do think that maybe there's some kind of karma to this, that she was not very nice to Sybil, and now she kind of has to stay here and deal with what she did to her.
She loved this home more than anything, and it gives me reason to believe that she's still here.
This is the room that Helen Kellogg died in at the age of 93. And tonight, Fidel and I are going to try to conjure her spirit.
Yes, I believe this is where she spent the last of her days. So I want to see if we can have a little communication with her, maybe get her to tap on a wall or...
The REM pod just went off.
I don't think that was a REM pod.
I think that was the house alarm.
Oh, okay.
So she spent the last of her days in this very room, passed away at the age of 93. I mean, I still see her dress right here. Want to see if we could speak to her, get her to show her presence, maybe tap on things.
So we're gonna use a ritual candle, and it's actually used for summoning entities. With the lighting of this ritual candle, we invite any spirits, any energy that may be in this home, in this room to join us. We ask that you congregate in this room and come forth into our presence.
So this time, we're going to use a different kind of spirit box, more of an analog spirit box. What it does is it sweeps through radio frequencies at a certain rate. Spirits are able to manipulate the frequencies from different radio stations, use those, turn them into words to communicate with us. I put the REM pod, I brought it out from the other room. It's ready to go, detect static electricity. So I have that. And we are ready to start talking to Miss Kellogg. Are you here with us, Miss Kellogg? Are you, who's here with us? Who is in the room with us right now?
Ace.
It said Ace.
Yeah.
I thought it said Eric too, I don't know. Who's here with us? What spirit? I thought I said Helen. You can play that here. Again. What is your last name?
Kellogg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you not happy that we are in here? She's doing the bump.
Can you make the CMF go off also? Please.
Can you make your presence known? I feel like there's something in the room with us. I have this weird vibe. Are you in the room with us still?
Make that meter go off if you want us to leave, please. Your mother!
Did it really say your mother?
It said your mother!
I did. Why did you say your mother to Eric? Eric don't like you talking back to him.
Whoa!
What happened?
I felt like something patting on my chest. Did you just pat on my chest?
Could you push Eric? Because he doesn't want to leave your house. Right? Well, I think we got a couple hits on the spirit box, a little bit of communication. I don't feel it too heavy in this room as I did when I first walked in the beginning. Yeah. It seemed to lighten up. I was trying to provoke the spirit, maybe get a deeper answer or something, but it kind of feels really light in here.
It's a very special place. And once you're here, it kind of gets in your blood. I'm not the only one that feels this way. We hear over and over, this is a hidden gem, nobody knows about it. And I have this innate sense to spread the word.
If anybody out there is interested to come and check it out, I recommend coming here and seeing what feelings you get from the house. I know that it's varied from person to person just working here. So I would encourage people to come and check it out.
Until next time, see you on Creepy AF.
See you next time. Join us.